but I like church more than football. My name is Zeph Halsey. I started coming to High Rock in spring of 2022 with my fiancée Davina, and we're getting married in 18 days. So, let me explain my football and church conflict. I grew up in upstate New York, where the dominant religion is being a fan of the Buffalo Bills. Only religion can explain why tens of thousands of people sit in blizzard conditions to watch a team that has never won the Super Bowl. In fact, they lost 4 Super Bowls in a row in the 90s. Many of you weren't alive, but I was enduring chants of B-I-L-L-S. Boy, I love losing Super Bowls. It was tough. All right. Well, I'm not a pastor's kid. My mom is about as close to being a pastor as you can be without actually being one. I only went to church because I had to. It felt like school, with lots of boring parts to endure between recess and gym class. My church had a basketball hoop in the fellowship hall, so I snuck in there as much as possible. I could tolerate a few hours of Sunday morning church. However, I got very frustrated during football season if we were not home for 1 p.m. kickoff of the game. Luckily, when I first came to High Rock, another dramatic and very traumatic football season had just ended, and even though church started at 1:30 p.m., I knew there wouldn't be conflict, for now. Davina and I had only been dating a couple months, and on our Hinge profiles, we were both clear that we wanted to find someone to grow with in our Christian walk. As we got to know each other better, we found our Sundays were some of the busiest days of the week. Some weekends, we were attending my former church at 10 a.m., followed by High Rock service at 1:30, and heading off to Sunday dinner and prayer in the evening with Davina's family. What was going on? My whole Sunday was church now? But though this felt concerning, I was also feeling something else. I felt myself experiencing more and more joy. I was more and more happy. And Davina and I were falling in love. All love comes from God, and the supportive High Rock community helped us connect to God's love. After service last September, I proposed to Davina at our spot behind Swedenborg Chapel. As we started making wedding plans, we felt led to lead a small group on Monday nights. This made me nervous though, because it would mean yet another church event would conflict with the football schedule, since there is one final game on Monday night each week. Honestly, this felt annoying. I mean, didn't I earn plenty of God points going to church every Sunday and praying at Sunday dinner? Did I have to give up another precious evening, let alone a football game, for God? The adjustment wasn't easy either. There were many times on Monday afternoon where I would forget about small group and mentally prepare to wind down, watch TV, the game, maybe have a drink. And Davina would sweetly remind me that it was small group night. So I jump up and have to switch gears. And I was also nervous at first because our small group was meeting over Zoom, which can be a challenge for me. But my nerves melted away because week after week, the insights of Sarah, Elizabeth, Gina, Arthur, and Michael encouraged and challenged me. They got me thinking and wanting to share more and more. Who knew? My problem in a small group was that I had too much to say. Thankfully, Davina was there to clarify my energetic, if not coherent thoughts. But it was also a learning opportunity for me. I'm a fitness instructor by day, and for the first time in my life as a leader, instructor, coach, teacher, I was learning how to be a good listener. I would silently count down for 10 seconds, waiting for a quieter person to add an insightful thought. And then they would, right before I was about to say something else. As it turned out, each evening after a small group, no matter how late it was, I felt more energized than before. I began to realize, I feel a lot better than if I watched the football game tonight. Wow, do I actually enjoy church stuff more than sports? It was becoming a want to do, not a should do. Was this really who I was now? Over the summer, I joined the men's group on Tuesday nights. And it isn't easy for me. The drive to Somerville can sometimes take almost an hour. The additional commute at the end of the day could have given me an excuse not to attend, but I wanted to be there. It wasn't a should do, but again, a want to do. So I rearranged my work schedule because I truly wanted to make it a priority. The men's group closely reads scriptures together, applies it to our current lives, and then we share joys and prayer requests. Doug and Austin are leaders, and they set an amazing example of honesty and grace. And I really do love it. I really enjoy being part of that group. So you may be new to church or have been hurt by church in the past. You might not have a problem seeing that God is more important than football, but you might have other interests, obligations that you place above church things. But I hope my story can show you that God has opportunities in life He wants to give each of us that is energizing, joyful. It just takes the courage to make time for it. I do not expect you to join multiple small groups, but maybe commit to one thing at church, like one small group, or the theology lab, or coming to serving, or just even staying after and sharing something important with someone new that you meet. Or can you still sign up for a retreat?
Yeah.
You can still sign up for a retreat.
There you go.
All right. I was talking to another high rocker about the challenges of being a Christian and sports fan. He's had a similar experience with grief with baseball and the Baltimore Orioles. He said he was working on uncoupling his happiness from how well his team has done. Being a Bills fan is an emotional roller coaster. Victories are amazing and lead to weeks of bonding with fellow fans and watching highlights. But the other side is anger, frustration, with losses and jealousy, and sometimes hatred, even for the winner. I'm trying to uncouple my happiness from the success of the Bills, and instead coupling it with God and the High Rock community. With God, there are no ups and downs, wins or losses. He is the rock that we can build our happiness on. Thank you, High Rock, for helping me see God in this community. And really, thank you for all helping me to love church more than football.